that the Lord gave me, which I have to admit startled me, was Tartaria or Tartaria. Now, this Tartaria place is very much, I guess you would say that people believe it is like Atlantis, okay? I've never really, there's only so many hours in a day, and you have to be judicious with your time, which is why sometimes when I come here after giving a prophecy, that is basically telling people, please prepare your life, prepare your children, make sure that you don't have too many assets, make sure that if you do have too many assets, turn some of it into money, turn some of it into whatever it is that Dave Ramsey told you to turn it into, so that you can be prepared to live a better life when you leave this place. And then people will come here and be wondering, you said in the prophecy that God said this. Why do you think God said that? Ma'am, I don't care. And so I was watching a video like that where they were showing all the giants that are frozen in a tree, a giant that is sleeping on the ground. I mean, the thing, it's not recommended evening viewing, if you ask me. So I saw that place mentioned, and the thing within it had 100 comments of people arguing back and forth. And it's supposed to be some kind of place that was almost exactly like Atlantis in terms of its unbelievable advances. I think it was somewhere out there in the Asias. So it's somewhere out in Asias, okay? Not like Atlantis. That was more Western, I think. So Tartaria is this place that is said to have, among other things, severely advanced form of, they were a people who were supposedly people who had electricity far before the time that it was ever, please excuse me, the light is fading, so I have to now move judiciously with time, but I'm almost finished. They were people who were supposed to have forms of travel that exceeded the timing of when they existed. They definitely, this business of electricity was definitely something that they were known to have. And that is about all I know about them. But what the Lord said to me today is he said the word Tartaria. And what I heard, I thought he said Tantaria. So I put it into Google to see what that is, because when he said Cascadia, I knew, okay, the subduction zone. God is talking again about this earthquake and the damage that it will cause. But then when I looked for Tantaria, Google will always fix it for you and then say, do you mean Tartaria? And that is indeed the place. And Yah says that it is indeed, or was indeed, a real place. It is not a place of myth. It is not a place of legend. It is not a place of stories. It is a real place that had its own peculiar style of architecture, its own peculiar style of education, its own peculiar style, and definitely electricity and all the advancements that whoever on the internet says they have. It is just unfortunate that I do not know what they say they have. This is just the broad understanding that I had when I briefly looked into it, and I abandoned it because there's so much reading on it that I had to make the value decision. I'm not going to pursue this thing in depth because I have prophecies, I have life, I have a job, I have sleep. There's some rabbit holes that I just cannot go into, but I know that Yah said, tell them that the place is real, was real. So there is that.